This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. We are here in Jeddah. We've just witnessed the Usyk-Joshua 2 weigh-ins, and with me, DAZN, Sky Sports, Talk Sports, the list goes on. It's an Ade Oladipo. Ade, firstly, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Great to make my ID Boxing debut. I chased you for this interview. So let's get this clear. I chased him for the interview. But no, it's good to be here in Saudi. Look, we were here 3 years ago, and we saw what AJ did against Ruiz that time. It's going to take a lot more this time. But he looks in good spirits, but so does Usyk. That's the scary thing. For me as an AJ fan, Usyk looks fantastic as well. He's mentally looks as strong as any fighter I've seen. So it's a tough task for AJ, but look, this is heavyweight boxing, you never know.
Ade, from a distance, it seems like you've actually built quite a good relationship and little bond with AJ. Do you think he will take comfort from knowing when he did fight here 3 years ago, he was successful, and granted he's a different type of fight as to what he'll need to produce on Saturday night, but he can take comfort and confidence from that?
Yeah, you've got to. I think, look, at this level of boxing, the elite level, it's small percentages, isn't it, right? I mean, like I spoke to AJ about 20 minutes ago in the changing room. He does seem confident, but I think he's also fully aware of the task in front of him. He understands that he's fighting probably the pound-for-pound #1. He understands that he's fighting a guy that, let's be honest, beat him quite comfortably in Tottenham. If you're scoring it maybe 9-3, 8-4, that's comfortable, right? So he knows what's in front of him. But I also think that's the reason he's changed trainer. That's the reason that the camp's got a bit smaller. You know, I've noticed that as well. There isn't sort of 20, 30 people around AJ now. There's 6 or 7. So I think he's trimmed the fat. He's brought in a really good aggressive trainer in Robert Garcia, and hopefully those things make the difference.
How much of a surprise was it to you to see Oleksandr Usyk weighing pretty much identical to what he did in the first fight today?
Very surprised. That's why you just can't trust photos and videos, because the photos had me believe that AJ was slimmer. He wasn't. He was a few pounds, I think, just above. And the photos made me feel like Usyk was a lot bigger, and he wasn't. So again, that's why you have to come to these events and see these things close up and personal. Usyk still looks a bit thicker, but maybe he's lost fat elsewhere. But look, Usyk's now a heavyweight. He's a fully fledged heavyweight. And if every heavyweight was in shape, there would be Usyk's weight, wouldn't they, for that height? So he's a heavyweight. I spoke to Chisora and I said, look, this isn't the same Usyk that fought you. He's now really filled out in the division. Hopefully it means the legs are a bit slower. You know, he's 35 now. It's a long amateur career as well. But look, it's a tough, tough task for AJ. It really is. But we'll see what he can do.
People have continued to say that for AJ to be successful, he needs to be aggressive. Now, that's by no means an easy task because of a man in the opposite corner. But how does AJ actually go about being successful and being the victor to reclaim those unified crown titles on Saturday night?
He needs to dent him. I know that sounds so simplistic and basic, and look, I'm not going to try and get into how he should do it, but he needs to dent him early. He needs to land something and gain that respect. If he doesn't, Usyk's so comfortable, as he did in the first fight, going into the pocket and having his success. He needs to give that almost that fear factor to Usyk, that if you come in the pocket with me, you're in trouble because I'm bigger and stronger and I might have faster hands. So I think if he dents him early, we've got a great fight. If Usyk starts to get into that rhythm where he goes side to side and opens that tool bag and finds all those tools, then there's a problem. I think if AJ can get to him early, not straight away, rounds 1 to 5, really put something behind some of his punches, because I thought last time was a bit tippy-tappy, then we could see something special. If not, it might just be like the first fight.
Once again, just keep with AJ. People have said that he needs to get back to what he was like when he fought with Klitschko's. Granted, you know, maybe just before that as well, that aggressive nature. And people saying Robert Garcia will bring that dog back out of him. From what you've seen and from being in and around Anthony Joshua, do you feel like he's shown that aggressive nature again, just in his mood, in the way he's gone about things?
I think so. I've noticed his trunk say killer mindset as well. So I think he's really trying to get into tune with the old school AJ, like people say. But if we're honest, he's not fought anyone like Usyk before. As much as people say, oh, turn into the guy that fought Klitschko or Brazil, they're not Oleksandr Usyk, right? I mean, this is a very special talent, Olympic gold medalist, undisputed at cruiserweight, unified now at heavyweight. This is the best of the best. You know, no disrespect again to Klitschko. He wasn't pound for pound #1. Nor was Carlos Takam, nor was Joseph Parker, nor was Dillian White. He's now fighting the elite level boxers. And maybe, it's difficult to say, but maybe he's just not good enough for that. Maybe sometimes you can do everything you want. The mind could be right, the ability could be right. Maybe he's just not at that level. We'll find out on Saturday.
Ade, we'll leave that there now because I've just seen Sophia come and stand by the side of me, so I don't know if your shuttle bus has arrived, but it's a pleasure as always. I just want to end on, it's been great to see obviously your rise. Last time we was out here in Saudi, you was doing something very different, working for yourself, working on your own channel, so it's great to see your rise to success.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. This idiot, David Alorka, is behind you. The legend. Come here, David, quickly. The beard gang. The beard gang. The beard gang. You know, it's good to see, right? A lot of people, that weren't, people of colour like yourself and, ourselves as well.
The melanin.
The melanin. Getting into the sport. There's so much more now. I think we're growing the sport as well. If everyone's got our own platforms, we're pushing. You've been pushing for years. You are Mr. Interviewer. You are the king. You know what I mean? So it's good to see all of us out here working. Long may it continue.
Come on, Dave, we can't leave you without having your thoughts on the fight. How's Saturday night playing out?
Saturday night is going to go down the AJ knockout between rounds 4 to 8. He's got to impose himself on his fight. He's got to show that he's the bigger man. He's got to use his attributes, his speed, his power, his tenacity to knock this guy out. Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Usyk here because, listen, I ain't playing. I'm scared of the man myself. All right, the guy wears odd socks, all right, and carries around a little teddy bear. We know how real he is and how serious he is about this game of boxing. We know that he's an absolute great pound-for-pound king. But I think AJ has got to fight his own fight. That's the aim of the game. It's playground. I said this earlier on today. It's playground stuff, right? If somebody makes you fight their fight, you're going to lose because they fought that way their entire lives. AJ's got to do him. Go in there, use his attributes, and do his thing. Fight according to his own game plan, according to what's in his mind. And whichever way it goes, he'll make us proud.
Well, David, as always, pleasure to catch up with you now. So thanks for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Cheers, David. Thank you.